22nd November, 1:14 p.m. Supreme Court of Judicature, Courtroom 2. Well, I understand you are the judicial assistant to the defense, but why this sudden ingress into my courtroom? Ha! A judicial assistant and a woman no less? Shut the fuck up, Ouchie. The rules state that females are not permitted into the court of law other than to testify. Yes, I fully understand. I ask only for 5 minutes of time. I have some vital evidence that I must hand over to the defense. Ha! You're too late, little girl. That this trial has already been concluded. 5 minutes. I will not allow a moment more. But, Your Excellency, I am most grateful. Thank you, Judge. Bro, this judge is awesome. Who exactly are you? I'm sorry, there's no time. Please simply accept this for now. What is it? A report about something? Written in English. It's Giselle Brett's research. Ooh, the English woman's? After the trial resumed earlier, I hurried back to the university. I went to Dr. Wilson's laboratory in the medical faculty and borrowed this paper. Oh yes, that's right. Miss Brett was studying under the professor, wasn't she? So, does this research, whatever it is, have something to do with the case? I'm afraid I don't know. I haven't been able to listen to the proceedings of the trial myself. Oh, no, of course not. Special characteristics of curare and its effects on human subjects. Interesting. Curare? What's that? I've never heard of that before. Time's up. The prosecution demands the immediate removal of this female trespasser from this courtroom. Oh my god. I want to slap you! There was too little time for me to read it in detail, but I have summarized what I could on a note just inside this cover. If you think it could be valuable, please cast your eye over it. Wonderful, thank you. She's our angel, man, Siddhartha. Giselle's report has been entered in the court record. Goodbye then, and good luck. Thank you so much. I bow to you. I bow to you. Siddhartha, I bow to you. We have had long enough counsel. We cannot detain our English guest any longer. Okay, you know what? Let's read it through. A poison made from the bark of certain trees in the jungles of South America. The hunters of the regions have used it since ancient times to incapacitate their prey. Effects: instant paralysis of the entire body and subsequent death, even in minute doses. Minute doses. Route of entry: the above-mentioned effects occur when the poison enters the body through a wound, such as that inflicted by a blowpipe dart. Okay. Due to its ability to render the human body paralytic, it's believed that the toxin could have application as an anesthetic. However, a solution for the respiratory arrest caused the result of the full body paralysis must be found first, or patients would die of suffocation. My god. Jesus. I ask the prosecution and the defense now one last time. Does either side have any further evidence to present to the court? I presume not, but... The prosecution has made its case convincingly enough already. Nothing more to add, Your Excellency. Oh, do I have a news for you? Hiroski, we're out of options here. This really is our very last chance. Yes, I know. Your Excellency, the defense does have new evidence. That look. The unyielding stare of a true Japanese warrior. Well, Miss Brett? Yes, Your Excellency? If you wouldn't mind, perhaps you could grace us with your presence a little longer. Delightful invitation, but I'm afraid... It's not so very long until tea time. Forgive me, Miss Brett. It seems I wasn't clear. I realized it was phrased as a question. However, I must ask you to treat that as an order. Oh, oh shit, man. I've said it many times before, but the Japanese language makes no sense. My apologies, dear lady. The counsel. What is this new evidence that demands the court's attention? Curare. Yes. Miss Giselle Brett, we understand you were studying under Dr. Wilson at Yume University doing research. Research, by sheer coincidence perhaps, into a deadly poison? What? Poison? Where are you going with this, counsel? A toxin known as curare, Your Excellency. Even the slightest amount of this deadly poison entering the body leads to instant death.
Objection!
What? What complete and utter nonsense! Curare, you say? I've never even heard of it. You wouldn't have done. What do you mean? I mean that you wouldn't have heard of curare before for one very simple reason. It doesn't exist in our country. It doesn't exist? Correct, which means no matter what tests the police can do for toxins, they'll never identify curare. Why? Because there's no test available here that can identify the presence of this highly deadly poison. What? Oh my god. Order. Council, does this deadly poison truly exist? According to this report authored by the visiting research student from England, curare has long been used by the tribes people of South America as a poison to lace their arrows. It seems that it's reasonably well known among European doctors and scientists. To lace their arrows? The report states that it is produced from the extract of a tree that grows deep in the Amazonian jungle, and it was first brought back to Europe at the turn of the century by explorers. Claims that animals shot by arrows laced with curare suffer instant death. Doesn't that about sum it up, Miss Brett? Damn.
Objection!
Trumpery! These aspersions are utter trumpery. To start with, if the victim had been administered some of the so-called deadly poison, he would have been squirming and writhing in pain, and other diners would have surely noticed. No, it paralyzes you. And that's true. But what do you say to that, Inspector? Obviously, I would have noticed a disturbance like that. I don't remember anything like that either. I didn't notice the professor being in any kind of pain. According to this, however, it's the other way round. What do you mean, the other way round? The very fact that the victim didn't show any visible signs of distress is evidence that curare was used. Explain yourself, Counsel. The moment this toxin enters the person's system, it causes instant paralysis. In other words, afflicted victims lose all strength and are completely unable to move. Even if they were in total agony, there would be no visible sign of pain at all. How terrible! Obviously, if a man lost all strength in his muscles, he'll collapse on the floor. But with a chair under him for support as Dr. Wilson did, these effects could go largely unnoticed. But I don't follow, Kazuma. That's just paralysis. I thought the poison caused instant death. The full explanation is extremely unpleasant. The poison causes immediate paralysis, as I said, leaving the victim unable to move. So he was probably alive during the paralysis, but after a short time, the paralysis is so severe it causes the muscles that control respiration to fail. Respiration? In other words, the actual cause of death is suffocation. And all the while, the victim is conscious and aware. That is, Jesus, just unable to move. That's hideous! To the observer, it would almost look like the victim is slipping peacefully into an endless sleep. But for the victim himself, his final moments would be a living hell. That is the true nature of this deadly curare poison. Oh my god. And you're suggesting that this bottle, Counsel, actually contains this terrifying poison?
Objection!
This is all very convenient, isn't it? A hitherto unknown poison for which there is no means of testing? What a happy tale for defense. Ahem, if I may. All these facts. You think you're so clever, but you must be taught the matter. Shut up! It is you who must be taught. I like you, Brett. Thank you for shutting up, ouchie. Of course! Dear lady! I don't want to scream. My throat would actually die. So, this is how you Japanese behave, is it? What? You steal another's honest hard work and then announce the results as if you discovered them. I'm appalled. What a loathsome act. Well, Miss Brett, the feeling is mutual. Whatever do you mean? Capitalizing on the unfortunate circumstances of an innocent man to frame him for a heinous crime? That really is a loathsome act. Won't you agree?
Objection!
Enough of this! I, for one, refuse to accept it. The idea of some poison that doesn't even exist in the great empire of Japan is breaking the rules, but you fucking hate your own country, dude. You're fucking up your own country's people. Ha 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 ha. What's so funny? Oh, excuse me, Your Excellency? Yes, Miss Brett? May I borrow that bottle for a moment, please? Well, yes, I don't see, why not? Nothing is gonna happen to her. Don't get too big for your boots, you insignificant little island boys. Sorry? To an English woman such as myself, this whole affair is a farcical comedy. You little police games and these foolish court romantics, it's laughable, really. But I'm getting bored of it all now. It's time for the games to end. Cheers! And nothing's gonna happen to her. And we'll have to find out why nothing happened to her. Wait, what are you doing? Wait, can I check the court record? I wanna double check something. The above mentioned effects occur when the poison enters the body through a wound, such as that inflicted by a blowpipe dart. Well, you don't have a wound, right, Brett? That's why. No sparkle left at all. How appropriate for the shabby effect. Wait, also another thing. The victim had undergone dental treatment. So, were the teeth removed or something? Wait, I need to check. It's clearly recorded some kind of medical treatment, and there's an entry for the day the professor was killed. Extraction with the use of anesthesia. Oh, so that's a wound! Extraction, so he had a tooth out. Yes, it sounds like just before he went for lunch, Dr. Wilson had to have a decayed tooth removed. I got it. Easy. Don't worry, guys. I got it. Goodness! Whatever is the matter, you all look quite stunned. So, no curare. The bottle was clean. Is that what you're saying? Ha ha ha! You look quite incredulous, little boy, but of course, that's the simple truth. The smug lady. Thank you for presenting the findings of my research so concisely here in this grand venue, most kind. Gah! Thank you, waiter. Now then, Your Excellency. Yes, Miss Brett. I should like to be excused now, please. I think I've given more than enough of my time for the furtherance of friendship between our countries. Yes, dear lady, we are most gratified with all the assistance you have given. This doesn't make sense. There had to have been poison in that bottle. So how did she swallow a whole glass and live to tell the tale? I don't understand it. Well, I suppose it's nothing else, this little Far Eastern charade. Will make for an interesting conversation at the next party I attend in London. There has to have been poison in that bottle, doesn't there? But there can't have been, because otherwise she would have keeled over dead. No, get it through. Come on, Ryonosuke, we have all the clues now. That bottle of water contains poison. The culprit did put curare poison into Dr. Wilson's carbonated water. The defense refuses to change its position. You're serious?
Objection!
Fool, are you blind? There's no possible way that bottle could contain poison. I mean, we just saw Miss Bed drink breast. No. Breast, I was gonna say. Okay, Miss Bread drinking the water from it? That's right, which rather complicates your argument, I think. And I believe that complication can be explained. How exactly? I need to think through all the things that don't quite add up here one by one. I'm sure the answer is in the evidence we have in the court record somewhere. Has to be. Very well. If the defense truly intends to assert this claim, then I must ask you to support the assertion with evidence. What explains how the witness was consumed? Oh, I present this again?
Yes!
The answer to this riddle is right here in Miss Brett's own research paper.
Objection!
That's not a valid explanation. No? After all, you don't speak English. That report is utter gibberish. This impudent young scoundrel is trying to ridicule the court, Your Excellency. I'm not trying to ridicule anyone. Honest, I'm just reading Suzato-san's note. Oh my god. I concur. This report is too extensive to be considered in its entirety by the court. You will direct us to the pertinent section, counsel. Which section of the report reveals the alleged answer to this riddle? Oh wait, what is it? I don't remember which. Special characteristic. Yeah, I've been hearing a lot about this curare poison. And it's left me curious about something. Oh, counsel? Well, it sounds as though indigenous hunters have been using this poison for years and years to lace the heads of the arrows that they shoot at whatever prey they're hunting. So we've been led to believe, yes? And the point of hunting is to catch prey to eat. Get to the point, please! But if they were to use these laced arrows, doesn't that mean there would be traces of poison left in the prey the hunters were going to eat? Yes, good point! So surely the hunters wouldn't want to eat their prey, wouldn't they? Would they? Because then they'll be eating poison. Good gracious, counsel, no, that would be madness. But I actually found the answer to that conundrum in this research paper here. Under special characteristics, it says this. The poison starts to work after entering the body through a wound. Through a wound, you say? I see, that makes sense. Yes, the mention of that particular detail seemed a little strange to me though. But it all makes sense when you interpret what's written like this. When curare enters the body through an open wound, it has terrifying poisonous effects. However, when it enters the body via the mouth, it has no poisonous effects whatsoever. What? Miss Brett, you authored this research. You knew curare's special characteristics. And you knew that you could make a spectacle of drinking that water without any danger to yourself. You meddling little... Oh! Rapscallion! Oh my god. The swan's out now. Rinosuke, it turns out. You're an even better lawyer than I thought you'll be. Really? Me? A lawyer?
Objection!
All this poison talk is fascinating, I'm sure. But I fail to see how it possibly... So, the ill-bred little puppy has a new toy to play with. Some facts he read in a book. But I'm afraid knowledge doesn't suit you, little boy. It only makes you look silly. What are you trying to say? The schoolboyish logic has a fatal flaw. Schoolboyish? Flaw? As even your brain has managed to deduce, curare is safe to ingest. Seems likely that its effects are neutralized by the acidic nature of the gastric succus. Oh, yes, well, of course. Gastric suckers, what are they? So, if this little lethal poison is completely harmless when drunk, the professor wouldn't have died when he swallowed it, would he? Ah, he has a wound. That's right. Good gracious. That's basic science, science that even a schoolboy should be able to understand, no? Order, order in court, order! The logic holds. If the lady and the professor drank the same poison, they would be affected in the same way. Are you trying to suggest? Yes, this curare poison is completely irrelevant to the case on trial. That's right. Surely even a little cockroach like you could understand something as simple as that. What is this? Welling up inside me. I've never felt like this before. A sort of conviction to break down all the discrepancies. It's so intense, almost rage-like. And more than anything else, it's an animalistic desire. Take down my prey! Let's go! We're powering up!
Objection!
Oh, finally! Oh my god, he's finally objected. I don't think so, Miss Giselle Brett. How dare you use that stone with me? You know very well that there is no fatal flaw here. You know exactly why, even though both you and the victim swallowed the same poison. You are alive, but Dr. Wilson is dead. Counsel, I'm sure I don't need to remind you. You must provide compelling evidence, as we now know that this poison is completely harmless when ingested. Why would Dr. Wilson alone have been killed by the curare? Let's go! And take that! As Miss Brett has so readily pointed out, she drank the same water as the professor. However, there was a fundamental and fatal difference between the two diners. A fatal difference? The toxic effects of curare are only felt when the poison enters the body through an open wound. So for a healthy person with no injuries, drinking it is completely harmless. But what if there was a wound inside the mouth of the person drinking the poison water? Inside? Yes, like the wound you might have if you had just been to the dentist and had a tooth extracted, for example. Ah! Miss Brett, you have acknowledged many times in your testimony already that you were well aware of Dr. Wilson's dental appointment that day. So that's it. You used that knowledge to orchestrate this. Is she laughing? I don't like to repeat myself, but honestly I can't resist. These childish courtroom games and your half-baked arguments are all so puerile. What do you mean? Don't worry, little schoolboy, you'll find out soon enough. Oh? What the fuck? You see, when you leave vital evidence lying around, you never know what might happen to it. No! I mean, it could just slip. Bro, wouldn't this be considered like a crime? You can't just do that. Oh dear, how careless of me. I'm afraid so many crucial evidence may have just been tragically destroyed. No! What is it? What just happened? It's the English woman. She just smashed that bottle. And in the Supreme Court, what a terrible blunder. Officer, what are you waiting for? Collect up as much of the water from that broken bottle as possible at once. You're wasting your time. This delightful carpet under my feet here was a gift from the British Empire. I assure you it will soak up the water beautifully. You have neither the technology nor the presence of mind to recover it. Ha 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 ha. How could you? You won't get away with this. You can thump the bench and shout as much as you like, you little boy. I'm afraid you'll never know now, will we? If there really was poison in the bottle or not. You... And let us not forget, we still have some very compelling evidence left intact. Isn't that right, counsel for the prosecution? Oh, of course. You're referring to this photographic print, I presume, dear lady. That's right, and really, looking at this photograph, it's as clear as day, isn't it? The poor professor was sitting with his back to me. Of course, the only person who could have shot him from the front is the little schoolboy.
Objection!
No, you killed the victim that day, using curare. And then in order to frame Ryunosuke Naruhodo for the crime. You waited until he picked up the pistol you arranged for him to find on the floor, before you shot the professor's dead body in the chest with your own hidden gun. Then, in the confusion that followed, all you had to do was turn that dead professor and his chair around. You see, you had every opportunity to commit this crime. What a wonderful imagination you have, young man. A hidden gun, you say? And I shot the professor's dead body, did I? Well, I'm terribly sorry, but you don't have a shred of evidence. Exactly. And as you have nothing to support your vile claims, the prosecution stance remains unchanged. The victim, Dr. John H. Wilson, was killed by a gunshot to the chest. You are so incompetent, man. Delivered in cold blood by the accused Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Unbelievable. How can this be happening? We had her, but now, is she really going to get away with it? The way she destroyed that evidence was obscene. Ryunosuke, yes, I've come this far, but now you're the only one who can finish it. What do you mean? You've lost a vital piece of evidence, it's true. Is there any clues left for us to use now? There must be. In your head. In my head? You told me before that your powers of observation were the one thing you could really depend on. Well, yes, that's true, but I didn't manage to notice that this woman was a foreigner with a swan on her head. So think back again now. Try to remember every last detail about the scene that day. Everything you saw, everything you felt, every color, every smell. What I saw, what I felt. Every color. Oh! Blood. Is Kazuma right? Somewhere in the vibrant memory of the same scene in my head. Could there be another clue to expose the identity of Dr. Wilson's killer? There's a clue. Actually, Kazuma, I think I might have something. Thinking back over everything I saw, I think I might have uncovered another clue. Haha, you always have something up your sleeve, don't you, Runosuke? Come on then, let's wipe the smug smile off that Englishwoman's face with some evidence. Alright, I can't wait. It's been niggling me for a while that something feels amiss in my memories of that day. Whatever it is could be the key to arriving at the truth about all this. It's here somewhere, the clue that shows who Dr. Wilson's real killer must have been is... Why?
Take that!
Inspector Hosonaga, answer me this. Yes, what is it? He's still miles away, probably thinking about that portal being smashed. As you've said a number of times now, you strive for perfection in your investigations, don't you? Absolutely. I wonder, therefore, if perhaps you took anything else from the scene of the crime. Like, for instance, the plate of steak that you took to the victim's table that day?
Objection!
Wait a minute, where are you going with this? Where are you going with this, little boy? It's just a memory that's been troubling me. What memory? I saw the scene shown in this photographic print with my own eyes that day. And I saw that on the wooden base of the plate that the steak was served on was a spattering of blood. What? Oh really? And what of it? Obviously that must have happened when you shot the professor. No, that can't be the case. Take a good look at the photograph and the relative position of everything there. The plate of steak is almost directly behind the victim. If I'm supposed to have shot Dr. Wilson in the chest from the front, there's no way that blood from the victim could have ended up directly behind it. Oh god. Ah! Yes. For blood to have made it onto the plate implies that the plate was between the victim and the shooter. Which means the shooter must have been sitting opposite the professor as you were. Giselle Brett. I beg your pardon?
Objection!
This is beyond ridiculous. Fabricated nonsense. Is the court seriously expected to believe something the accused has apparently just remembered seeing? Oh, she's sweating, man. This could be the moment that my entire career in the police force has been leading to. Inspector, you mean? Yes, I took the plate in the interest of preserving evidence from the scene of the crime. I took it, meat and all, and I don't care if they call me a crime scene thief because of it. You did what? I took the steak that he had been eating, Miss Brett. I took the steak that the sergeant had been eating. And I did it all in the name of justice. Hosonaga, you goat. Such a goat. Such goat behavior. And we can find out for sure whether or not there's a bloodstain of Miss Brett's plate. We must examine it now. I am kinda losing my voice, but I'm gonna continue. Inspector! The court wishes to examine the plate from the victim's table immediately. Yes, sir! Sorry for the delay. Here is what you ordered, the steak. Well, what about the blood? Is there any blood on it? Of course there isn't. Quickly, Inspector, the blood, man. Show the court. Of course, examine the plate at your leisure. There's no blood in this one. Could be the sergeant's, no? No, no blood. No blood anywhere. But no, that's impossible! I know I saw it, I'm sure of it. It was right there on the table behind the professor. There was blood on the side of the plate. What an unbecoming expression, little boy. Oh my god. You see, this is why I always say you can't trust what the Japanese tell you. Ugh. I couldn't agree more in the case of this disgrace to the Empire. I believe we may finally have reached a conclusion in this trial. Let's hope so. This let's pretend attempt at courtroom proceeding is painful to watch. I do promise to do my best to forget all about it when it's over. Ha! This sorry-looking stake reveals the facts all too clearly. Where's the other stake? The sorry-looking accused wishes to examine it again. Be my guest. Okay, let's examine it. Was the plate I saw or thought I saw just a figment of my imagination? Let's just check the examine. Okay, let's first check this. What? Huh? That's the Kuban coin. What in the world is this? It was the sergeant who took it. This is the sergeant's stake. That's what I'm saying. This is just the sergeant's stake. I think it's a Kuban coin, and the hallmark is from the Hoi era, I believe. No. I don't mean what is it. I mean, what's it doing there? Wait, did you say it was the Hoi Kuban? Yes, and apart from the meat juice, it looks to be in good condition. I imagine it very valuable. This isn't the first time today there's been talk about a Hoi Kuban. I've heard of pearls before swine, but I've never heard of bullion and bouillon. And I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that right. I'm sorry, and I don't think you ever will again. Extraordinary though that means. I certainly never expected to find a precious coin underneath this thick cut of meat. It's from the Hoi era too. That would make it really quite valuable. Well variated the juice as well. Look. What, are you thinking of eating it? No, but the next time I order steak at an expensive restaurant, one thing for sure. My heart's going to be racing as I lift up the meat and peer underneath for a prize. I think you might have the wrong end of the stick about this, Renosuke. One coin underneath this stick. There's only one logical explanation. Is there anything else? This emblem on the side of the plate. Is it a cat? It's a cow, obviously. Most likely because the restaurant's signature dish is beef steak. It seems a lot of different restaurants have their own unique tableware. This is a symbol of La Carnival, is it? Okay, I think that's good enough. Was the plate? No, okay, I've read that part. This is it now. I've lost. Renosuke, it's not over yet. Not until the final gavel. Never stop believing in yourself. Keep looking forward, no matter what. Believe in myself? Really? Maybe I should at least examine the evidence for myself. I examined it. As the evidence requested by the defense has not been shown to be problematic in any way, I presume any further examination of evidence in this trial will be unnecessary. Does the defense have any objection? The blood stain was going to clinch the trial for me. Can this plate of steak reveal any other clues? Any other clues at all? There's another clue. Your Excellency, please wait. This plate of beef is hiding another clue. Another clue that will reveal the shocking truth.
Objection!
The only thing that's shocking here is your unhealthy fascination with beefsteak. Your Excellency, I think I've made myself clear, haven't I? I will not be able to turn a blind eye to any more unnecessary procrastination in this trial. I'm sorry, Miss Brett, but we must ensure a thorough examination of the evidence. I will not give a ruling until I'm completely satisfied that all reasonable doubt has been dispelled. This judge is pretty good. I see. As a newly firm ally of my country, that's still your position, is it? Thank you, Your Excellency. Counsel for the defense, you will now clearly show the court to what you're alluding. Very precisely on this plate of beefsteak is the new clue to be found. Under this.
Got it!
Got it! Good gracious, that's... a Kuban? What on earth? A Hoi era one at that. Miss Brett, this is in fact the beefsteak that you ordered at the restaurant on the day in question, is it? Tell me, why is there an old coin seemingly hidden underneath the meat?
Shut up!
What a ridiculous question. How should I know? I've never seen that thing before in my life. I don't know what this is. I want no part of it.
Objection!
I fail to see how this is relevant. A coin underneath the meat? That could simply have been a careless mistake by the chef in a moment of distraction.
Objection!
Don't be absurd. We're supposed to believe that this happened by accident in the kitchen? A rare Hoi Kuban just happens to be hidden underneath a piece of steak. If this turns out to be irrelevant to the case, I'll rip up my ticket to Great Britain right now. He's right, it can't be a coincidence. Your Excellency! Yes, Counsel? A rare Hoi Kuban just happens to be hidden underneath a piece of steak. If this turns out to be irrelevant to the case, I'll give up my lawyer job right now.
Objection!
By all means, don't let us stop you. No one invited you anyway.
Shut up!
Perhaps, little boy, you should realize that it is you who is irrelevant. Even though I'm the one on trial here. Point is, it's essential that we ask the owner of this coin if he can explain what it's doing under that desk. The owner? Yes, it's obvious. There's only one person who it can belong to. The owner of the Kuban that was found underneath this beef steak is this old man. Curio Korekuta. Oh, I keep on pressing A, my god. Obviously, it can only be the antiques dealer and owner of Rasitai, Curio Korekuta-san. Yuri, as in Mr. Cucumber or something? Honestly, these ridiculous Japanese names are quite unfathomable. Ah, yes. The old man who testified earlier alongside the military sergeant, correct? Yes, Your Excellency. I remember him saying that he was up to something with his Kuban coin when it happened. At exactly the moment the gun was fired. Then a gunshot interested me not. I was far too busy on the floor. Too busy on the floor? Sorry, what were you doing? Hunting for treasure. Indeed, the Hoi Era Kuban, my prized coin. Then this Hoi Era Kuban, do you mean to tell me?
Objection!
No, please, why would Korekuta-san's Kuban be sandwiched between the victim's beefsteak and its plate? It makes no sense.
Yes!
It does make sense, which is why I'm asking to bring Korekuta-san back to the witness stand so we can ask him. Officer, bring both witnesses that testified earlier back in here. Without a moment's delay. Now will I have to prove that it was the sergeant who stole it. I can't believe we've come back round to that pair again. But I have a hunch, a strong hunch, that if we chase down the real significance of this Kuban, we'll find that it's a key element in the case. Excuse me, could I say something? Yes, of course. Proceed, Inspector Hosonaga. I mentioned this earlier on the trial, but I was working undercover in the restaurant in order to investigate another case. Ah, yes, that's right. Oh, I didn't read it too, sorry. La Carnival is a high-class Western cuisine restaurant. It attracts wealthy diners, including many foreigners. Recently, there's been a run of similarly executed thefts targeting the restaurant's rich clientele. A number of such incidents have been reported to the police bureau. Wicked crimes indeed. We wanted to nip the case in the bud quickly, especially with so many foreigners being affected. That's why you were sent in undercover, is it? Yes, I took on the job of waiter at the restaurant. I was gonna say water at the restaurant in order to flush out the criminal. It seems likely that this Kuban incident is the work of the same thief. So unbeknownst to us, there was a master thief at work in the restaurant on a regular basis. This place. Oh shit! Why am I reading so quickly? I want to say this place was already the scene of several crimes. It seems. I know about the master thief part, but the identity of the person who stole and hid Korekuta-san's Kuban is all too clear. What? What? I think the court would like to hear the defense's view on this matter. Tell us, who is the despicable scoundrel that stole Korekuta-san's Kuban hidden under the steak? It's Ianosa. Not Ianosa. Yesanosa. Obviously, it can only be you, Sergeant Yesanosa. What? How? How dare you? You monster? Monster? I stole that Kuban, did I? I'm the master thief of La Carnival, am I? You're seriously accusing me of these crimes, cadet. But it wasn't me, it was Aido. Aido is the mastermind behind all of this. You would push the blame for your crimes onto your own son, an innocent little baby? It's you who's the monster, Sergeant Nosa. Oh shit, man. Ah! Oh my god, oh my god. What the fuck? What the fuck is this? What the fuck? Nippon Imperial Army Sergeant Yasuno-san preparing to stand down in the Supreme Court, sir. The fuck was that? That was insane. That was insane. Do any of you know of the extraordinarily low wages the Nippon Imperial Army pays those it expects to keep our country safe? I understand that the temporary increase in taxation owing to the recently ended conflicts remains in place. And I've heard it's hard for lower-ranking soldiers to make a living, yes. All I want is to put a hot meal on the table for my son. That's why you were stealing things at the restaurant? The place is heaving with money. Every 3 days, I go there and do reconnaissance for a target. And I'll enjoy chomping my way through a good steak at the same time. Not like he doesn't bother with a knife and fork even, which is worryingly believable. And your target that day was the old man and his kuban. Yes, sir. He was an easy mark. I slipped the coin into my pocket without any trouble at all. A veritable phantom thief you are. I was all set to leave the steak I was halfway through devouring when it happened. Yes, when the professor was shot. I knew that if the police conducted a search and found the coin in my pocket, I'd be finished. I do too. So I hid the incriminating evidence as fast as I could on the double. I slipped it under the steak, hoping that I'll be able to rendezvous with it again at a later date. Oh, I feel bad for him. This is ridiculous. Perhaps you could carry on with this absurd prattling in your own time? Well, Miss Brett? Oh, of course, dear lady, of course. How rude of us. I'm quite sure there's no need to detain you any longer at all. No, we have to detain. May the esteemed gentlewoman please be excused, Your Excellency. Indeed. The theft of the kuban was clearly perpetrated by this baby saddle sergeant. I combined baby and saddle sergeant. It would certainly appear to be unrelated to Dr. Wilson's murder. Of course it is. Hiding a coin under a lump of meat? The sheer nonsense of such an idea astounds me. Nonsense, is it? Well... Oof. And as for picking up your steak and biting into it without using a knife and fork, it's beyond nonsense, pure madness. Very well, now that all questions concerning this witness's testimonies have been answered, I see no further justification for detaining her. Miss Brett, you are free to leave. Thank you, Your Excellency. Good luck, everyone. Not done, man. And good day. Rinosuke, what's the matter with you? This is not time for daydreaming. Oh, no, it is just something about Miss Brett's parting words there got me thinking. I can't quite work out what exactly, but something she said jarred with me. I feel like there was a contradiction in there somewhere. Something didn't quite add up. If that's the case, don't just stand there thinking. Make your voice heard. Sorry? You can think later, but if you don't call out now, it'll be too late. The trial will be over.
Hold it!
Wait, Miss Brett? What is it now? I'm afraid just one last time. There's something I'd like to ask you. I'd like you to explain the contradiction in your parting words from just a few moments ago. What are you talking about? What contradiction?
Objection!
What new student nonsense is this? Well, what parting words are you talking about, Rinosuke? Hiding a coin under a lump of meat? The sheer nonsense of such an idea astounds me. And as for picking up your stick and biting into it without using a knife and fork, it's beyond nonsense, it's pure madness. Yes, I'm right. What she said there exposed an undeniable contradiction. I'm going to need to see evidence, Counsel. If Miss Brett's words truly are contradictory, where is the evidence? I think... wait. Oh, wait. Examine, 1 minute. Okay. It's because he didn't eat it with the fork and knife. There's probably like bite marks, unlike with the knife and fork where it's probably clean marks. I'm assuming it's this.
Take that!
The steak that Miss Brett had been eating before the professor was killed. Yes, go on. More accurately, Your Excellency. The steak that was on the victim's table just before the professor was killed. Now you're just splitting hairs. Not true. Doesn't something about the steak strike you as very unnatural? Unnatural? What on earth do you mean? Extremely obvious. I'm talking about the shape of the edge where it has been eaten. I see you've noticed it too, Miss Brett. Notice what exactly, Counsel? Just a few moments ago, Miss Brett claimed no Englishman could even contemplate picking up a steak and biting into it without using a knife and fork. Of course she did. She's a refined English gentlewoman herself. Then take a good look at the steak, in particular the edge where it's been eaten. As you can see, there are clearly defined barbaric teeth marks there. Ah! It looks like Miss Brett has realized something. So, if the witness, as she claims, wouldn't contemplate eating anything without using a knife and fork, there shouldn't be teeth marks in the steak at all.
Objection!
But what is your actual point? Perhaps the delightful Miss Brett was ravenously hungry and could help her. Oh shit. Oh, whatever you say, dear lady. As I said, I really must be leaving now. Afternoon tea with the Minister of Justice cannot possibly wait any longer. Of course. This will be all over in the blink of an eye. Rest assured, oh my god. I've heard enough. You're irritating the spectacle samurai relic. Of course. Here, I'm not thinking that. My throat is actually dying. What's the matter, Miss Brett? Have you ruffled your feathers? Clearly, the witness knows what this means. She's realized the catastrophic implications these teeth marks in the steak have for her. Minosuke, do you know where you're going with this? Yes, I am. Yes, now at last, it's all come together. The mysterious teeth marks in a steak that had allegedly been eaten with cutlery. The reason why the bloodstain on your nose I saw somehow seems to have disappeared. And most importantly, the evidence that proves once and for all who shot Dr. Wilson that day. I accept that these teeth marks in the steak are a little unnatural, as you put it, Counsel. But what exactly are you suggesting that tells us? Everything, Your Excellency. Everything? Yes, I believe that these barbaric teeth marks in the steak here amount to conclusive evidence in this case. Evidence that will prove beyond any doubt who shot Dr. Wilson. Conclusive evidence? How many times have I heard that today? You won't know the meaning of the phrase. Typical Japanese empty threats. How can you be so sure? Oh, it's quite simple. If you really have such conclusive evidence, you would have presented it to the court long ago. Actually, the evidence I'm talking about hasn't been brought here before the court yet. Hasn't been what? But just because it hasn't been shown yet, doesn't mean that the evidence does not exist.
Objection!
It's absurd. The trial has run several hours already. You see that evidence yet to be brought forward? There can't be. I don't believe you have it.
Objection!
I don't, but there's someone who does have it. Someone in this very courtroom. And if that person is willing to submit the piece of evidence I'm referring to, and it will solve every remaining mystery about this case. Yosanaga, very well. I have a feeling this will be my last request of the defense in this trial. Who possesses the conclusive evidence that will reveal the truth about this whole affair? Satoru Hosonaga. The answer is obvious. Inspector Hosonaga. What? I have it? Yes. You think I've been withholding conclusive evidence? That's ridiculous. I need to cough as well. No, I'm not saying that. Everyone's attention has been focused on the steak with the teeth marks. Yes. Now, earlier this afternoon, Sergeant Nosa told the court that the following. I enjoyed chomping my way through good steak. And as well as admitting to stealing Korikuta-san's coin, he told us that he slipped it under the steak. You watch it, cadet. I'm a superior officer. Sergeant Nosa, could you please confirm something for me? Was the stake that you put the coin under, in fact, your own stake? Tension! Affirmative, of course. I might be a soldier in the Imperial Nippon Army, but still. I'm not brave enough to ask a foreign gentle lady if she'll mind me handling her meal to hide something in it. In other words, the stake that the detective submitted as evidence earlier was in fact Sergeant Nosa's meal.
Objection!
But that makes no sense. That plate was taken from the victim's table.
Objection!
Yeah, the gentlewoman doesn't take bites out of a steak, nor did she have any opportunities to steal the coin. She swapped it. Of course I didn't steal it. To even suggest such a thing would be an affront to the entire British Empire. Well then, how do you explain this paradox? Exactly, sure you're not going to suggest that the sergeant switched the two stakes over? Yeah, it was the sergeant. Thanks, Ouchie. You did switch the plates? Well, after it happened, when I saw the civilian had been murdered right in front of my eyes like that, I panicked. As I said, I immediately lifted my stake and hid the coin underneath it. But then when the waiter announced he was an undercover policeman, I thought I had it. If he decided to investigate my slab of meat, that'll be it. I'm be getting my marching orders. So when the cadet here was arrested and taken off to the kitchen, I seized my chance. Sergeant, you literally mixed it all up, but I have to thank you as well. With military precision and timing, I switched my stake with the one on the foreign lady's table. What? You can't have. I never saw you do such a thing. It was called Operation Lightning Bolt. There was no time for strategic planning. It was do or die, I tell you. So yes, I did what had to be done. Unbelievable! However, fear not, Prosecutor-san. What now? I swear on the brass buttons of my uniform, that is all I did, sir. All you did? That's plenty, Sergeant!
Yes!
So, if Sergeant Nosa switched the plates over, it means he took Miss Bread's steak and the plate it was on back to his own table. Yes, that follows. Inspector Hosonaga! Yes? Earlier in this trial, you told the court this. You said that you had not only taken Miss Bread's steak after the incident, but also the sergeant's. That to preserve evidence, she had taken both. Ah! Yes! That's correct. Then please present it to the court now. The plate that was actually on the victim's table at the precise moment he was shot. Yes, go! What can that possibly tell us now? I mean, a cold slab of tough meat can't have the slightest bearing on the case.
Objection!
No, you're not wriggling your way out of it this time, lady. I beg your pardon? Surely you're not that forgetful. Surely remember the reason why the steak pan promised to prove such a problem for you, no? But you're the ones who decided it was a problem, not me. The reason the defense asked to see that plate was to confirm something the defendant remembers seeing. Shush! Things he remembers. I'm quite sure of what I saw, Miss Brett. On the side of the plate that was on the table directly behind Dr. Wilson, there was clear splattering of blood from the gunshot wound to the victim's chest. I believe the defendant's memory serves him well. And now we have the evidence to prove it. The plate you were eating from, Miss Brett. Let us not prolong this any further. Inspector, you will show the evidence to the court. Present the beefsteak and plate that was originally on the victim's table at the time of the incident. Yes, sir! Let's go. Are we done? I can see the blood splatter. Sorry for keeping you. Here is the other steak and his plate. Please feel free to examine it. The blood stain. It's clearly visible. Look!
Yes!
Now this makes everything clear. The blood you can see on the side of the plate shows that the moment the victim was shot, he was facing the table with his back to me. In other words, it's impossible for Naruhodo-san to have shot the victim. Ah! It can't be! In fact, there's only one person who could possibly have shot Dr. Wilson from the front. I'm sure everyone knows by now who that person is. Ugh! That's right. Miss Giselle Brett. It's you! Is she gonna have a breakdown? Oh. Outdone? By a Japanese? Me? By a Japanese schoolboy. No, no, no! Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god! This just Jake falling off. Oh god. Bro. No way. Oh, that's so cute. The chicks on the forecourt. Oh, that's so funny, man. I love these little details. It's so funny, man. Oh, I love this game. Please excuse my little outburst. I briefly lost my composure. Most unbecoming behavior for an English gentlewoman. Forgive me. Well, Miss Brett, I think it's time you told the court what actually happened that day. The truth this time. Gladly, Your Excellency. It was I who took the professor's life using curare. As you surmised, I chose that particular day for one very important reason. The professor had a dental appointment for the extraction of one of his teeth in the morning. So you planned to kill the professor, knowing that no trace of poison would be found in his water, because curare is unheard of here in Japan. Yes, of course, I never intended to remain at the restaurant for as long as I did. I only needed to see the professor take one tiny sip of his water and it would all be over. I would place the steak I'd ordered in front of him to make it appear as though he had been dining alone, and leave immediately. However, before any of that happened, there was an unexpected visitor at the professor's table. That would be me, I suppose. Yes, you. Who else? Such a trifling matter, but the fact that he decided to come over to greet the professor meant that I had lost my chance to slip away unnoticed. In due course, the professor took a sip of his water and was paralyzed. I made sure he was sitting in his chair such that he wouldn't fall. There was no going back at that point, so I concocted a plan of spur of the moment. Plan to pin Dr. Wilson's murder on this innocent man. I happened to know that the professor always carried a gun. I decided to use that fact to my advantage. I had the bottle of curare in my handbag and my own pistol concealed under my skirt. We should have checked it, you know. Under your skirt? So I was right, there were two guns. Yes, and then I finished my coffee and got up to leave. That's when I noticed the professor's guns, which you had presumably placed on the floor, place where you were sure that I would notice it. And everything went according to plan. You noticed the gun as I intended. And then, just as you bent down to pick it up, bang! That's when you shot the professor with your own gun, even though at that point he was already dead. Naturally, the gunshot caused a commotion, at which point the waiter appeared. Obviously, I assumed Naruhodo-san was the culprit and apprehended him. I took him to the pantry that adjoins the kitchen and locked him inside. That's when I took the opportunity to turn the professor and his chair around. Because, of course, you needed to make it look like the defendant had shot Dr. Wilson from where he picked up the gun. Holy shit, man. For a spur of the moment plan, that's actually quite impressive. But why did you kill Dr. Wilson? I don't understand. But there you have it. That is the entirety of my misdemeanor. Misdemeanor? It was a crime, lady. You murdered someone. Your Excellency? Yes? I wonder. Might I speak with you in private later? I shall call on you. Thank you. Good day then, everyone. I hope you can forgive me, Naruhodo-san. Fuck you! I almost went to jail and died. Oh, I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm actually dead. It would seem this trial has finally run its course. I presume the prosecution is in agreement. This can't be! Taketsuchi Auchi does not lose, not to the likes of this rookie student. You'll better start getting used to tough opposition. Ugh! Ryunosuke Naruhodo? But yes? This insult to the Auchi family name will never be forgotten. You have become conceited with age, council, but the old have to stand aside and make way for the new. Oh my god, he called him old boomer. Oh my god. It's the way of the world. May you never forget that. Oh, what the fuck? Oh my god. Ah my god. 1,000 millennia may pass, and still, the Auchi clan will never measure up to the Naruhodo clan. Oh my god, this is like talking about Phoenix Wright and William Payne. And Phoenix Wright also defeats William Payne. Oh my god. This trial in the Supreme Court of Japan will, I believe, go down in history as the start of a new chapter in our country's judicial system. Ryunosuke, you're part of history. Despite being summoned as the accused, you, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, presented an excellent case. I thank you, Your Excellency. I lost my voice during this whole trial. The use of evidence and deduction to unravel the truth is a modern methodology. After all, it has only been a few short decades since our country opened its doors to the wider world. But the Western ideas of science are rapidly gaining acceptance here. I feel sure that science will soon bring new methods of investigation and new procedures of justice. And a new future of law awaits. What it will look like, I cannot begin to imagine. That is for the young to pursue. Kazuma Asogi. Yes? After this trial, you are set to embark on a journey of discovery to the illustrious British Empire. Learn all you can. Absorb everything of the wider world that you are able to. And do not forget to fulfill the mission imposed upon you. I understand, Your Excellency. What was that about? Why do you look so grave all of a sudden? Ah, never mind. As for you, Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Oh, yes? In you, I sense, how can I put it, unusual potential. I very much look forward to seeing how you carry that onwards. Thank you, Your Excellency. Woof! It is time to deliver the final verdict. I hereby find the defendant, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, not guilty! Woo! Taketsuchi Auchi looks so shocked, man. It's so funny. This court is now adjourned. This was a very good first case. Incredible. 22nd November, 2:46 p.m. Supreme Court of Judicature. Defendants, Antechamber 5. Can't believe it. Can't believe it. I can't believe what's happened. I made it. I defended myself and made it through the horrendous trial. Ryunosuke! You finally pulled it off. Congratulations. Well, I couldn't have done it without you. Thank you, Kazuma. Ha 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 ha. No. It was a pleasure to watch you at work. So you owe me an extra large sukiyaki from the place on Yume University Street. Don't forget. Good afternoon. All your hard work has certainly paid off. Oh, Susato! Congratulations to both of you for proving Naruhodo-san's innocence. We couldn't have done it without you. Ah, trusty judicial assistant. You worked hard for the result too, you know. Oh no, I didn't do anything. Thank you so much! If you hadn't had that research report of Miss Brett's, I don't know how things would have turned out. Your kind words should really be for my father. I was simply doing as he asked. It was his idea for me to go to the university and investigate. Your father? Ah, yes, of course. Forgive me for intruding on court proceedings, Your Excellency. Dato Mikotoba, Judicial Assistant to Defense. Speaking of Mikotoba, ah, there you are. I believe congratulations are in order. Naruhodo, you did an excellent job. Thank you, Professor. Oh no, it is I who should be thanking you, after all. The effort exposed the true criminal that took the life of my good friend. Good friend? Oh yes, you mentioned that before. It was you who actually invited Dr. Wilson to Yume University, wasn't it? Yes, that's right. Professor Mikotoba studied overseas himself. He went to study forensic medicine in Great Britain. Presumably that's when you met Dr. Wilson. Exactly. In those days, we worked together in the same hospital. Oh, you worked together? I've never heard you mention that before. Well, it was a long time ago now, besides. It's your turn, Asogi. Great Britain is a magnificent country. It leads the world. In science, medicine, engineering, culture, and of course, in law. Don't know about the culture part. Watch and learn, my boy. See what's happening in the world's largest melting pot. I will. I'll learn all that I can. I swear on this, the spirit of the Asogi clan. Not taking this war to Great Britain, are you? Of course I am! A Japanese man's katana is his soul. This blade shows me where I need to go. And cuts down anything that's in my way. Yes, I've definitely seen how sharp it is already with my own eyes. With how you cut through Ouchie's hair. It reminds me, what's happened to that woman? Giselle Brett, I mean? After all, she's guilty of murder. Ah yes, her. It's not easy to tell you this, but... What do you mean? Surely she's going to face trial herself now. She's the true culprit after all. He will be leaving Japan in the very near future for Shanghai. What? Shanghai? Giselle Brett will not appear in court again in this country, I'm certain of that. What? But why not? It's a matter of consular jurisdiction. Consular jurisdiction. Inspector Hosonaga. It was a hard-fought battle in the courtroom today. Very impressive to watch. I must congratulate. But what's all this about consular jurisdiction? Oh my god, why can't I say those two words together? We cannot try this particular foreigner for crimes here in Japan. What? We can't try her? But then who? Who's gonna bring her to justice? A British consular court will hear a case. Somewhere far away where our voices can't be heard. But why a consular court? Professor, I simply don't understand. I thought consular courts were a thing of the past now that we have signed the friendship treaty. Yes, in normal circumstances, you're right. Then, so long as this is not a serious incident of a highly political nature to our respective governments, they can't invoke a consular court just like that. Oh, can't they? Yes, she's a student, but it doesn't justify our governments making secret agreements about her fate, does it? Something strange is going on. The Miss Brett can't be held accountable for her actions here in Japan. I'm afraid that for the young student, today's trial was nothing more than a game all along. There was never any danger of comeuppance for her. I don't believe it. The British government's Foreign Affairs Ministry has demanded that we hand over custody of Miss Brett. They're obviously taking this case of a foreign student committing murder very seriously. But it's all going to change from now on. We can make it change. It's a time of great turmoil, this new era heralded by the start of the 20th century. One day, I have no doubt, that woman will receive the judgment she deserves. Yes, change is coming, and we're the ones driving it. I hope we meet her again, so that we bring her to justice. Well, I think that's enough seriousness for now. This evening calls for a celebratory drink. But Professor... You're right, this is no time for gloomy faces. We should be celebrating Ryunosuke, not guilty verdict. Let's start having some fun. In that case, might I suggest La Carnival, where I was accused of murder? As the head waiter there, I should be delighted to provide you with ample food and drink. You're a detective, Hosonaga-san, aren't you? Let's not worry about details for now. La Carnival, will you accompany us, Professor? Of course, La Carnival's food is second to none. I shall go and attend to the paperwork for Naruhodo-san's release. Oh yes, thank you. Oh my god, Shizato is such an angel. So Giselle Brett won't be tried here. I suppose that means I'll never know. I'll never find out why she killed Dr. Wilson. No, I think you'll know. It's kind of like foreshadowing. Kazuma? Yes, Ryunosuke? I just wanted to say thanks again, that's all. You really saved my skin today. Ha 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 ha! I didn't do a thing. You were the lawyer in there, weren't you? That defense was all your own work. Your skills made the difference though. One day, I believe you'll be the best lawyer in the world. I'm not so sure about that. To be honest, something kept occurring to me over and over again during that trial. I couldn't help thinking that maybe you're the one destined to become a great lawyer, not me. What? Come on, be serious. If I helped you today, it was only right at the very start of the trial. But you have a natural talent for it, for being a defense lawyer, I mean. Oh no, not me. All that tense verbal combat, I never want to go through that ever again. Ryunosuke, I have a bad truth for you to know. You're gonna probably be doing this again. It's a tourney game. I did what you told me to do, that's all, because I knew I could trust you. That's the point. Sorry? What do you mean, that's the point? Listen, Ryunosuke. You know what the most crucial weapon is that any lawyer needs in order to win? Knowledge of the law? No, the ability to believe. To believe what? A defense lawyer has to fight for his clients. He has to believe in them at all times. Like you believed in me when I said I didn't do it. I'm human, just like you. I don't have some superhuman ability to know the truth. But you have to make a choice about what to believe in and stick to it when you're defending someone. Sometimes in the courtroom, you can really be backed into a corner. But being able to remain faithful to what you chose to believe in even then, well, that's not something that anyone can do. It takes a special kind of person. Believing in your client. Just look at today's trial. I'm a student lawyer with precious little real experience, but you never stop believing in me. Well, you face seemingly hopeless situations time and again, but you never stop looking for the truth. And in the end, you found it, through your own efforts, and because you never stopped believing in me. Thanks, Kazuma. What is that look, Kazuma? What is that look, Kazuma? There's something I want to ask you, actually, Ryunosuke. Well, it's a favor, really. Something very important to me. Sounds serious. What is... Ah! You're still here, are you? Why did you interrupt me? He was gonna say something. Oh, Inspector Hosonaga. I've arranged some rickshaws for you. Let's go. Thank you, we'll be right there. Please continue the conversation, please. Let's pick up this conversation again later. You should be celebrating right now. Your first court victory. And your study tour to Great Britain, don't forget. Ah, yes, that too. Why? What was that face? So my very first trial came to an end. Kazuma. Professor Mikotoba. Sato-san, who acted as my assistant. Inspector Hosonaga, who didn't really play much of a part, but still. It was because of the help and support of all these people that I managed to get through that trial. But more importantly, Kazuma hadn't yet managed to ask his favor of me. Little did I realize just how much it would change my life. Oh my god. And let's go! Holy shit, trial 1, oh my god. Jesus Christ. That was long. Woof! We have done trial 1, let's go!